This is an 18 by 11 thick baking sheet, and the weight of the dough is 800 grams. So just make sure that the bottom of your baking sheet is very well oiled so that you can push the dough to the sides. Just make sure that as much as possible the surface is very even, like so. Okay, let's move on to the next. See? I'm able to push the dough easy because there is plenty of oil at the bottom of the dough on the baking sheet. And it's up to you if you want to proof this. You can bake it if you want a thinner focaccia, but I want a little bit of height because I'm sure this is going to be perfect for sandwiches. So I'm going to push it a little further here because this is somewhat thinner and the one at the center is thicker. This is 830 grams compared to the other one. I just wanted to compare which one is going to look better, the thicker or the thinner version. And there you have it. Look at the oil at the bottom. See, it doesn't stick. Don't worry, the oil is going to be it's going to make the focaccia crispy, and I'm using an organic coconut oil. Now we're going to dock the focaccia. You can see there's a bubble in there. So I'm just going to use this tong to poke holes on the focaccia so it doesn't puff up during baking. You can also use a fork. There. And now it's up to you what you want to use as toppings. So here I'm going to add some garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of cayenne. The other one is not going to have some chili powder on top because I'm going to give it to my sister. So you can also put or brush it with oil first if you like. The dough is not salty, so adding garlic powder and onion powder, which is a little bit salty, is not going to make the focaccia too salty. There, and then some Parmesan cheese. It's up to you what kind of cheese you want to use, but for breads like this, cheddar is any hard cheese is a good candidate for topping, or whatever your favorite is. And then, of course, since I'm a lover of sesame seeds, I'm going to use some sesame seeds. See, I'm reusing the empty garlic powder container. Of course, if you want to make this crispier, you can dot this with butter. The top, you can put butter on top. And a little bit of cayenne for contrast in the color, and just because I like my bread to be a little bit on the spicy side. Here. And there you have it. I'm going to do the same thing with the other bread. Let's not forget a little bit of olive oil. You can also use fresh onions or fresh garlic if you like. And I think I'm going to add some freshly ground pepper on top. And so there you have it. My focaccia. It has whole grain and rice flour in the dough. So I'm going to let this proof for maybe about an hour, and then I'll bake it in a very, very hot oven. So I forgot to turn on the camera or the video, and so I do not have a video of me lifting the Banetton off the dough, but my experiment worked. My dough did not deflate. Both of the dough did not deflate when I lifted the Banetton off them. And so normally you turn it over when you think that your dough is risen well enough. You turn it over a greased baking pan, and then you lift the bowl. And so usually in my case, my dough deflates probably about 1 centimeter to at least 1 centimeter to about an inch. Depends on how um, well my dough has risen. But today, for the very first time, my dough has maintained and retained its height. So this is now what I'm going to do from now on. These are now the focaccias, the two trays that I have. So one is thinner, a bit thinner, and the other one is thicker. So this one is 30 grams more than the one on the left. And it's been proofing for about an hour and a half, close to an hour, close to 2 hours, I guess. Because I was able to make lunch. And I am now preheating the oven, so I think it can still use a little bit more time, maybe 30 minutes more, and by that time my oven is going to be ready for these two focaccias. So I have 4 trays to bake, 2 loaves of bread, and these 2 focaccias. So I'm going to use my large, sorry for the camera, I'm going to use my large 4-sheeter oven so that it's not going to be that too difficult for me to shift the pans if I'm going to use my what is this, Fujidenso oven.